we discussing the criminal case.
Where was Noble Drew Lee at in his stand? Was he more of a separatist? Would you consider them a separatist? Noble Drew Lee, them kids?
I think they was all like Garveyites somehow.
Yeah, because he was late to Garvey. Like they was, I think.
Yeah,
he followed him a little bit.
Yeah, it's weird with Drew Ali, right? Because Drew Ali was promoting a sort of separatism inside of this political body, right? If you read his if you read the Circle 7 and then his bylaws, right? What he was proposing was kind of building a framework kind of based off the United States Constitution and how the executive and the judicial branch and et cetera was formed, right? So the Moore Science Temple was meant to be like a sort of microcosmic government, right? And then his idea was that microcosm would eventually over time grow and grow and grow to where it would basically supplant the superseding political body that was so in essence he had separatist ideologies, but he wasn't
inside of the American framework.
Right.
Was Booker T. Washington a separatist? Booker T. Washington came up against separatists. Booker T. Washington was a separatist.
No, he was no separatist.
No, that's not what it was. Nothing to do Booker T like that.
He accepted separatism on the basis of white people racism. He didn't fight against it. He basically saying white people can have what they want, just let us be able to work, right? Don't starve us, you know what I mean, financially, right? Like if we have a skill, let us, thrive in that skill. Like if y'all allow us to, make y'all shoes, we're gonna be the best shoemakers. And if y'all gonna allow us to work in y'all manufacturing companies like for bricks and stuff, then we're gonna be the best brick and stone masons, right? We're gonna be the best farmers. Like whatever y'all allow us to do, we're gonna be the best at it in the workforce. That was kind of his thing. Like, he would be a more like a labor champion, right? A teamster, a labor champion for black people, more than likely, but with skilled labor. Go ahead. Yeah, it would have been more like a skilled laborer.
Well,
that's why he created the technical school.
But W. Du Bois was totally against Booker T. Washington.
Yeah, because he was with the academics. He wanted to push university learning versus technical learning. He didn't think that the worker could push the Negro forward. That's his claim. The worker can't push the Negro forward, but the talented, exceptional Negro is the one that can push us forward.
I mean, when you look at like the boys now, you can't just paint like stupid. You can't just paint the boy like he's just an idiot. Like that's not even.
No.
Even
brilliant.
Even in this day, you still have even forward-thinking individuals that think like, the most talented should supersede the lower level. Like in terms of voting shouldn't be for everybody. Because certain people don't even understand. You know what I mean? So that mindset, you can't just be like, just shut him down on some like he just.
And Du Bois was one of the greatest writers of all time. If you listen to how Barack Obama his speech, you can tell he was influenced by Du Bois. If you listen to that, who that light skinned nigga with green eyes? Jesse what's that nigga name? Jesse when he said black magic or blue, whatever that shit nigga on the BET award. He's an actor. You know what I'm talking about?
I know you're talking about, but I don't know
nigga with the green eye. He is an extremely great writer himself. If you see how he write, Well, anyway, what I was trying to draw out, not to get up top, but don't you feel if if that would have went through, I believe if a lot of African American went back to Liberia, even though Liberians, like, what is it, 5% of the population in Liberia, if it was like 15-20%, man, it would be a lot of great influential. I mean, if it would have went through, I'm telling you,
Niggas would have went over that bitch and starved to death. Y'all crazy.
How?
Hey, you want to say
How?
something? That's not necessarily true.
Yo,
It seems.
yo,
Go ahead.
chef. Liberia in the 80s was better than China at that time, I think. It was on the world map. Everybody at that time on the continent wanted to go to Liberia at that time.
Y'all think them Africans was gonna let y'all thrive over there while they around that motherfucker starving? They
Probably
would
not.
took that shit.
Yeah, you're probably
That
right.
shit
But
ain't
look at what they was
crazy.
look at what they was inspired by, blood. There was a place called Little Liberia that some brothers in 1919, they actually thrived for like 10 years before the Mexican government was like, y'all getting too big. But they had bought 20 acres in around Ensenada, Mexico, and it was called Little Liberia. Hegh, Hugh Macbeth.
I read about that. Yeah, that's
so
great.
Garvey was inspired by shit like that. You feel what I'm saying? They really did what he was trying to do right before in his time period. That's all I'm saying.
Two things I have to say. W. Du Bois. If W. Du Bois did look at the French Revolution and realize that change came from the working class, or even, the Russian revolt was after his time. But change always comes from the working class. W. Du Bois was fortunate to go to Harvard and to graduate. But he brought into the white man concept. That's the problem.
He brought into the white man what?
The white man concept of the ruling class, of the elite.
Yeah, but you know what? The boys, it went beyond just the idea that only a certain elite class is equipped to like rule and
he went to the light skin.
Vote and make decisions. He went beyond that. His 10%.
The light skin.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about the light skin part, but I do know that his whole he did. Well, I'm not surprised. Right. That you know what? That even bolsters the point that I was gonna make even more. His idea was based on this pseudo-biology. You know, it was
race.
Right. It was a eugenics like type of
definitely.
Right. It was the idea that on a genetic level that the Negro race
it's some unfit groups in society.
Right. We're inept. We're innately inept, right?
Right.
However, there's a sliver of us, a 10%, that somehow, some way, you know, we shook off that innate deficiency, and this 10%, the light skinned group, is particularly talented, and that was his plea. Because I remember reading a letter, he was pleading to these white folks like, yo, man, we not like these other niggas. You know, we know niggas ain't shit, but us 10% light-skinned niggas, we're different. Like, that was his whole thing.
But was he racist in that, or was he analyzing data?
He was part of the
He
race.
he was a eugenicist.
Yeah, but you could make that same claim today about multiple different ethnic groups, but would you be being racist, or would you just be analyzing the data of who actually rises to the top and actually becomes engineers and builds institutions and et cetera, et cetera?
Right.
Dr. King wasn't that far from
hold on, Chef. Making the observation, right, about what groups of people happen to be progressive and forward thinking, and just looking at what's in front of your eyes, and that is a racist. Saying that has some sort of biological connection, that's where the racism and the eugenics comes in.
Okay.
Right? Because we both know, Mike, that there's plenty of factors that go into what makes a particular group be in a certain position or whatever. He's saying from a biological standpoint, like innate, like you're predestined to be. This group is just predestined fuck ups.
Mm-hmm. Hey man.